Many small businesses are facing what seem to be unsurmountable challenges. Some of them are life and death, paying bills with no customers allowed in, or who don't want to wait online, or are unemployed and can't purchase products they need or would love to have. In just a moment, I'll be joined by two small business owners and a small business expert. Also in this program, Reggie Brown will have a report titled The Good News, and Alonta Raiton will be talking to a young academic achiever from Brooklyn. How are small businesses coping with the mountain of challenges that face them? Joining me to discuss this are Neslie Brunache, BK9 Modern Caribbean Cuisine. He says, and he will correct me, I'm sure, he's going to say BK9 Restaurant. Also, Carol Urena. She's the hairstylist at Punta, Cana Beauty Salon. And there's also small business expert Gregg Bishop, whose name is familiar to small businesses all over Brooklyn. Welcome to Brooklyn 45.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My first question is going to be for you, Carol. How has the COVID restrictions affected your business?
The COVID restrictions have affected my business in the sense that we cannot have as many people as we used to before, because we have to keep social distancing, and in between clients we have to disinfect everything that we use, the chairs, the tools, the brushes, everything that's being used we have to disinfect. So we have to separate time after and before each client in order to do all these things. We have to take temperatures before they enter. We have to wear masks. Some people are not comfortable with this, but it's absolutely mandatory. We will not attend anyone without masks. It's just a lot more work right now for us because we have to, and it's a lot more spending because we have to buy a whole bunch of more products to clean and keep everything tidy for everyone to be safe and healthy.
Now, you were closed during the pandemic before the recent opening?
Yes, we opened in phase 2, which started June 22nd, but we started on June 29th.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you because I want to know how all that affected you. But first, let's hear from Neslie.
Yes.
How did the COVID restrictions affect your business?
Well, it affected because we had to just do, first of all, we had to shut down. Then we had to do only takeaway dining. And we are not used to the takeaway, the delivery business. We're more of a destination spot, a date night, a jazz brunch, a pre-concert spot. So we had to really try our best to increase our delivery business. And that came with a new restriction. We had to buy more takeaway containers, more plastic cup, more plastic cutlery. It has really been a challenge for us. At the same time, I'm happy that the city allowed us to do outdoor dining. And we're trying to get that in order as we speak right now.
We've been hearing that customers are not taking COVID seriously. Let's come back to you, Neslie. You said you're allowed to do outdoor dining.
Yes, we're allowed to do outdoor dining with restrictions. We wear masks. We make sure the patrons are 6 feet apart. We put hand sanitizer on the tables. We use lots of we wipe every menu, every table, every chair down after each use. Most of our patrons do wear masks, however, and if you come inside the restaurant to use the restroom, if you don't have a mask, we won't let you in. We have a box of masks for the patrons as well. So we wear gloves as well when we deliver the food.
Carol, what about you?
What was the question?
The question is, are your customers taking this COVID-19 seriously?
Well, luckily we haven't had any complaints from anyone. Everyone has been following the rules and being very respectful of our business, thankfully.
Okay, they don't have to stand online, do they?
No, but if they do come early to their appointment, we do have to have them wait outside until it is time for their appointment. It's just to keep the amount of people that are in the shop, controlled.
Gregg, you're a former commissioner of the Small Business SBS, and let me ask you this question. Do you find that small businesses are taking this virus seriously?
So, and thanks for having me. I think, small businesses had to take it seriously. When I was a commissioner, and when you look at across the country, governments have forced small businesses to take it seriously through different mandates, whether it's limiting, as you heard, indoor dining, or whether it's a complete shutdown. So, for example, if you're in the event space, you cannot open up your business right now. So small business owners obviously have to take it seriously. I think the other challenge is really small business owners, whether small business owners was ready for a disaster like this. I've been through, in my time in government, I've been through many disasters, many localized disasters, whether it's a steam pipe explosion, bricks falling off of a building. It's localized, a block is shut down, the business is shut down for a day or two, and then they recover. This is nationwide. This is ongoing. There isn't necessarily an end date. We're hoping that a vaccine will actually change, consumer behavior. But there's so many unknowns. Yeah, there's so many unknowns in terms of, consumer behavior. I'm on location right now. There's a lot of outdoor dining, but there's a lot of people who are still very afraid to go outside without protection. So I think, businesses have to adapt to that new normal. And, so obviously they have to take it seriously, but I think they have to take more seriously how to adapt their business.
Neslie, how are you going to get your customers back?
Well, we through our social media, we have a good social media person, Maya, one of my managers, word of mouth, and we actually never close, so we still try to stay relevant. We actually let them know what's going on. They know about our jazz brunch. They know about our events. They know we have outdoor dining available, and they know we have food delivery available as well. Most of the patrons are the regulars that come around, so they've been stopping by and seeing that we still haven't fully shut down during the COVID-19, and we're always there for them.
Carol, the same question to you. You've been closed for a while. Have you lost customers? How are you going to get them back?
Well, while we were shut down, we tried to communicate with our clients via social media, which was probably like our best tool during the shutdown. Unfortunately, not unlike restaurants, we couldn't provide service while we were shut down because, of social distancing, and we have to be safe and healthy. But mostly social media. We have seen a lot of our clients come back and book appointments with us, but a lot of them also have not made appointments with us because I'm assuming they're afraid. I've also noticed that after 6 o'clock, nobody comes into the salon. We're usually there till 8 o'clock before all of this happened, 8 o'clock, and now we've been closing early every day because nobody's leaving their home. So we're communicating now. We have a system where we're doing the appointments, where we can email clients and let them know about, the steps that we're taking for them to be safe, because that's the priority right now, for them to feel safe and know that when they come to the salon, we're doing what we have to do during their service.
Gregg, I know you've been hearing all of these stories, all of these complaints. What are you telling businesses they need to do to be able to get their customers back, to be able to revitalize their businesses?
Right. So there's a number of things that businesses need to pay attention to. Number one, I know capital is going to be the main thing. It's like, how do we get the necessary dollars to not only invest in technology, but also invest in different ways of doing business. So that's number one. So what I will tell them is look at all the different government resources that's out there. The federal government, the SBA, Small Business Administration, they still have the idle loan that's still open. And that is a 3.75% loan that's payable over 30 years. So that's an opportunity to get some capital that you need. To get your customers back will depend a lot on customers feeling safe. There's some of that is outside of the responsibility of business. The health departments all across the country, including New York City, will be educating customers on what is safe and the different ways to protect themselves. So until that happens, customers may try to protect themselves by staying home, etc. But when customers are ready to go out, you need to be prepared to actually get them into your business. So a great social media strategy, like we heard, is important. Having a presence on the web is important, but also having a customer relationship management system, knowing your customers, knowing when it's time for their appointment, helping them, reassuring them, all the different things that you have. The City of New York, through Small Business Services, my old agency, and through a number of the local business improvement districts and chambers, they've been distributing safety equipment. So for businesses that may not have the ability to get them, they should contact Small Business Services. Small Business Services has a hotline for you to call if you have any other questions. So there's a number of free resources that I would encourage businesses to take advantage of, but also make sure you have a robust technology presence. What we saw during this pandemic is that everyone that had the ability to reach their customers via technology was able to help and connect to their customers. So that does. Sorry, this is what happens when you're on the street. But this is the things that I would say that businesses should be prepared for.
Okay, my next question is going to be for you, Neslie, and you, Carol. What have been your greatest fears? And what are still your greatest fears?
Well, one of my greatest fears that the government may not get a hold of this COVID-19 because it's spreading in the South and the West like it did in New York 3 months ago. And I'm worried that moving forward, the phases, we won't know if the government is going to allow us to bring diners back inside the restaurant as the winter is approaching. Also, I'm worried about the safety of my staff, safety of our customers as well. With all our staff, we do wellness checks. We tested every staff for COVID-19 and antibodies. We also encourage staff to wear gloves when they deliver the food, use hand sanitizer, and really check on their well-being. So that's paramount.
My biggest fear is that clients won't show and we would have to possibly shut down, because unfortunately, if we don't have customers, we're not making any money. So yes, to keep this under control the way it is, I think New York State is doing a great job with the phases and slowly reopening, unlike these other states that have just kind of opened, really quick, and now look at the state that they're in. So yes, for them to keep this under control so that we can, as a small business, move along and survive.
Good point you just made, the fear of not having enough money. Gregg, I know that you mentioned earlier some small business programs that are available, but there are many programs that either small businesses are unaware of or banks are not taking them seriously because they're small businesses. Many of them are mom and pops. What do you say to small businesses, in addition to what you said earlier, about getting financial assistance and the financial assistance that could be available to them?
Yeah, so and I know a lot of small businesses early on, applied for the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP. There's a lot of press around big businesses getting the dollars and small businesses being shut out. There's still money available. That program was extended. It is very limited in terms of, I believe it's like 60% has to be used for payroll. The other 40% can be used for rent, expenses, etc. I would say that it's a forgivable loan. So still, if you have not applied, you should apply. You can go through Small Business Services to find the right lender, or you can go through SBDCs. These are Small Business Development Centers. New York City is rich in resources for small businesses that you can take advantage of. Again, as I mentioned, the Paycheck Protection Program, but also the EIDL. So that's from the SBA that you go directly onto the SBA. Those programs are still available. But also SBS has a great one-stop shop. If you go to nyc.gov/COVID-19 BIZ, you can learn all about, like, the state has a loan program as well. SBS has a grant program for anyone that was impacted in terms of damage during the protests and the riots. So there's a number of resources out there for businesses to get the capital that they need. But also, I would encourage them to join their local Chamber of Commerce. Those Chamber of Commerce, they're doing a lot of fantastic work to help businesses adapt, because that's going to be the nature and the focus for the next probably 6 to 9 months as we figure out what's happening with the pandemic, is how do you adapt your business during this period of time? How do you convert over to either subscription model or have appointments, or you're doing delivery, or you're doing outside dining like I'm here right now. You're going to have to adapt your business. If you have outdoor space, an event space, you can't be inside, but maybe you can do something outside. You need that support, and your local chamber can also help you.
Membership of organizations, is that important, Carol? Are you a member of any organizations, business organizations? And the same question, of course, to you, Leslie, is that useful? Carol, you want to go first?
Leslie, I'm not a part of any business organization, no.
No. What about you, Neslie?
Yes, I believe we're part of the Fifth Avenue Better Business District. And I also believe that we're part of the Brooklyn Chambers of Commerce as well.
Mm-hmm. And you find that helpful to you?
Yes, they send you newsletters. They tell you what's going on. There's petitions going around. We were able to get Fifth Avenue shut down on Saturdays to cars, only emergency traffic, to increase foot traffic, to expand the dining experiences outdoors.
Greg, talk to us about this. I'm sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, it's so important to be part of, whether it's a chamber, whether it's a business improvement district. The reason why is because you have a collective voice. You're able to advocate for the things that you need, either from the local community, from your local government, from the city and the state, or even from the financial sector. So, whether every single borough has a chamber of commerce, the Bronx Chamber of Commerce, the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, Queens Chamber, they all are very much focused on helping businesses through this period, whether it's accessing capital, whether it's accessing PPEs, figuring out the best way to do bulk purchasing of that to help save on your bottom line, whether it's even networking with each other to be able to get the materials that you need. Now is the time for you to actually be together in a collective unit. So I will encourage any business owner to join your local chamber, join your local LDC, which is a local development corporation, because that's going to be the key in terms of your success.
Okay, we've got just about 1 minute left. Carol, are you a member of I think it's a certified minority and women-owned business enterprise? Have you considered that? Would that be useful to you?
I learned about it during the shutdown. I learned about it and I joined it, yes.
Okay, we've got 1 minute left. I'm going to give all three of you 30 seconds each. Let's go. Let's begin with you, Neslie.
Yes.
30 seconds.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. It's very informative, and I've learned a lot about from the other guests that you have. We're just here trying to survive with small business, located in Park Slope area, and I just hope everyone stays safe and stay healthy, and we get past this.
Carol?
Yes, same here. We're just looking to survive the pandemic and give you guys the services that you need. And thank you guys for having me on this program.
And really quickly,
okay,
I would just say, consumers, support your local small businesses. They need you more than ever.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Neslie, Brunache.
Thank you.
BK, Modern Caribbean Cuisine,
BK9.
but you say BK Restaurant.
BK9.
It's a great restaurant.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. I'll check it out. Carol Urena, who is a hairstylist at the Punta, Cana Beauty Salon. And you're going to be doing a lot more. I'm sure that you're going to be connecting with Gregg Bishop as well. And Greg, thank you again for being on Brooklyn 45.
All right, thanks for having us.
Coming up soon,
Thank you.
Alonta
Thank you.
Persons. You're very welcome. Coming up soon, Alonta Persons Right will be talking with a young academic achiever. But first, Reggie Brown.
Thank you, Sam. The quarantine has had some positive effects on our lives. We are in touch with our relatives via Zoom, text, and phone more than ever before. Children are waking to find mom and dad at home at the same time. The aroma of home-cooked meals once again pulls us out of our bedrooms. Books are being read, movies are being watched together as families. Forgiveness is at its all-time high. And with the help of face masks, facial expressions are no longer contributing to the words coming out of my wife's mouth. We're investing time on building a one-on-one relationship with Christ. And that is good news.
Thank you, Reggie. Now to Alonta Right On, whose guest is another of Brooklyn's young academic achievers.
Thank you, Sam. So joining us, representing culturally rich Bedford-Stuyvesant, we are pleased to have Esayah Edghill, an elementary school valedictorian, a musician, Taekwondo brown belt, and lifetime scholar. Esayah will be entering 8th grade at Nest M this fall with a grade point average of 98.25. Welcome to Brooklyn 45, Esayah.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So let's get ready to celebrate you.
All right.
Starting with the academics, what are some of the classes you've taken in school, and what was your favorite class?
Well, we have all the usual curriculum classes. Math, ELA, social studies, science, but we also have extracurriculars like Spanish, music, theater, and robotics. If I had to choose one, I'd say my favorite is math because I enjoy how logical it is and I like to problem solve. Usually, although there might be many ways to get to an answer, there's always one correct answer, which I think I like.
Okay, so since we're talking really quick about the academics, is there any other subject that you just love besides mathematics?
I would say social studies because I enjoy debating with facts because there's always more than one side to a situation or an argument.
Okay. I like that. So now let's talk about Esayah, the musician. What instruments do you play, and which is your favorite?
Well, right now I'm playing upright bass, bass clarinet, and piano. And if I had to pick a favorite, I would say piano because of how versatile it is. You can play chords, you can play melodies, and you can play bass lines, and you can do all of that at the same time. So you can layer the sounds to make beautiful music. It's also a very simple instrument because all of the notes are just laid out in front of you. You don't need to memorize any fingerings or anything. So what I'll do is I'll often learn a piece on the piano before I transfer it to another instrument like the bass.
Okay, so 3 instruments. That's impressive. That's very impressive. So in celebrating your academic success today, to pay it forward, how would you approach and ensure academic excellence in your work? And 2, what advice would you give other students to support their academic success?
Well, a big part of academic excellence for me is definitely time management. So for me, that looks like starting my work early, having a diligent work schedule, and revising and editing as much as I need to. So I'll work in a way to avoid feeling overwhelmed because I dislike doing a lot of work at once. Think of it like a puzzle. You don't really throw a lot of pieces onto it at once and hope for the best. Instead, you'll work slowly and carefully to make sure everything comes together nicely.
Okay, sound advice. Thank you. Greatest accomplishments. What are some of yours?
Definitely one of my greatest accomplishments was being valedictorian at PS11. It was a huge honor. I was really proud of my achievements. Another big honor would have to be playing jazz in the Appel Room with the Middle School Jazz Academy, because jazz at Lincoln Center in general is like one of the most prestigious venues to showcase musical talent, and being able to play there was like really, really a great honor.
That really is a great honor. You've done a lot, and I know you're proud. So you talked about time management, you talked about your academic success, and you gave some tips and some advice to other scholars and other students, and we appreciate that. So there you have it. We have this scholar, Esayah Edghill. Thank you so much for joining Brooklyn 45 today. Is there any one last word you'd like to say before we sign off?
Thanks for having me.
It's been our pleasure. You've enriched us and encouraged us by your presence and your intellect today. Thank you so much, and thank you to your family. I am Alonta Rydon, and back to you, Sam.
Thank you, Alondra. And now we go to Dondre.
Brooklyn 45 is a 501c3 not-for-profit, and we welcome your support. Check out our website, brooklyn45.com. Post your comments on our Facebook, facebook.com/Brooklyn45TV. And if you've got any topics you think we should be covering, shoot me an email over at brooklyn45tv@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. I'm Dondre.
Thank you, Dondre. And I'm asking you, our viewers, to send Dondre an email. Our Brooklyn 45 team hopes our program has been valuable to you and even inspiring for our Brooklyn students and their parents. We welcome your support. On behalf of our Brooklyn 45 team, I am Sam Tate.